I'm Ethan Evans. I'm the Easy Coach. And tonight we're going to talk about mentorship, sponsorship, and coaching. The differences and when you want each, and how to get the most from each type of person. You can turn a boss into a mentor by building a mentor style relationship. And the key point you'll hear from me over and over tonight is I invested first. So it's a little bit like Han shot first. I invested first. And I completely recommend no matter what someone else tells you, you should shoot first. I had a boss come in and he told me pretty honestly, hey, I wasn't really looking to have your group. I'm not sure I want to manage. I was running a technology group, but you're here and I'm here and we'll figure it out. So that is not an auspicious beginning. But I appreciated the honesty. And so I started working with him of, hey, how can I help you? How can I make your job easy? And I've talked before on other streams the virtue of working with a manager to make their job easier and that will incent them to invest in you. So again, over about a 3-year period, he really became an advocate and took my career forward in a way I wouldn't have been able to do without his backing. And some of that was he taught me, some of that was he guided me how to navigate a large corporation. And my payback for that was explicitly focusing on what helped make his job easier. Let me talk a little bit about the differences between mentors, sponsors, and coaches. We talk here about mentors. And one of the things about being a mentor is mentors are normally know you and are working on your career from a career viewpoint, whereas coach can mean all kinds of things. You can have a life coach that's trying to help you find work-life balance. You can have a parental coach. At one point in my life, I had actually a men's issue coach who is like trying to help me be a better husband and father. And we were talking about things, challenges and problems unique to the male role in society. That's coaching. Coaching is more about specific problems. Mentorship is more about longitudinal career growth. So then, what's a sponsor? Well, sponsor takes things a step further. Sponsor is really another word for advocate. A sponsor is someone who puts you forward for opportunities. So they're not just interested in improving your skills or building your abilities. They're also actually trying to push you into new opportunities, sponsor you for advancement. I'll talk both about what I think makes a good mentor and what I think doesn't matter. So the most basic thing I would say in a mentor, and this is going to sound simple, is you need someone who cares. You can get someone to say yes to being your mentor, but if they've never really invested in mentorship, or they don't care and they're just doing it because they were asked to, either by you because of social pressure, or they were told, well, you should mentor some people, it's not the right person. Even if they have a great position, you need someone who cares about doing mentorship well. And if they have no expectations of you, if they just want to show up and have coffee with you and like, sure, we'll get together, we'll talk, you may get some value out of that. But I consider that a coffee buddy, not a real mentor. A mentor is invested in and thinking about how to improve your performance and your abilities. Next thing about a mentor is they have to either have the time or make the time. I've said this in other contexts, but I'll repeat it here. If you're a mentor, if your mentor has a lot of time, you should wonder why a little bit. Usually the best mentors are busy professionals who are working hard. And then you have to ask, why are they going to take the time to really invest in you? And so you're looking for someone that you can form that relationship with where maybe you're giving them some value, but also they're passionate enough that they're going to take their personal time and invest it in you. And so how do you find such a person? Well, number one, truthfully, look for people who are mentoring others. Number two, look for people you share something in common with or some kind of bond. And number three, try to figure out what they want out of the relationship. Why are they going to mentor? How do you get really great mentors, the famous or busy people, to respond to you and invest in you? So this is something I've thought about a lot. Number one, make the ask. Like nothing ventured, nothing gained. But number two, make a specific ask. So it's one thing, let's say I wanted to reach out because I work at Amazon to Jeff Bezos and ask him for mentorship. That would be an extremely hard ask because he's so busy. He's running this very large company, something like 600,000 employees. But if I wanted to make that ask, I would reach out and say, Jeff, I really want to learn this specific thing you do well. Could you meet with me once or twice to tell me about that? And the two things I'd be trying to do there is, number one, limit the apparent commitment. If the two meetings go really well, I can always ask, can I follow up later? Or could we have a third meeting or whatever? But second, I've made a very specific ask in a context where he's the expert. And so what you're trying to do is convey, only you can teach me this, and you're the best person, and I will value it, and here's how I'm going to use it. What are some mechanisms to ensure that when you seek out these coaches and mentors, you're able to follow through and get the most out of it? First, make sure you're in a position to have the time. If you're at a super busy stage of life, I'm going to go a little bit into the next question accidentally, which is fine. You have to be in the right stage of life where you can invest. If you're on a super hard project, if you have something personal going on in your life where you can't put in the time and take on something extra, it's the wrong time to have a serious mentor relationship. Now, if it's an informal mentor relationship with someone who's a friend or a colleague or a former boss, those don't have the same formality and they can be paused. You can say, look, can we pick this up in 3 months? But I guess I would say don't seek out a mentor until you're ready to drive that follow-up. So my number one mechanism would be ask if you have the time. And second, ask if you want a mentor. I think you're in a much better place to get your mentor to help you find a new role when they have confidence that you're willing to invest and work on your challenging relationships and that you don't run away from problems. So whoever asked this, thank you for the question. I think this is where you may have earned some sponsorship, where they actually start to become a sponsor. Because if what you're saying is true and the results are there, that you've really settled things down and improved them, or stuck it out even. Let's say you didn't do anything except grit your teeth and wait and do your job, which is not a terrible strategy sometimes. You've shown value, and that's where you get sponsorship, is you've shown something that they can recommend. So I think that's a great time, or at least a good time. I would absolutely, make your change professionally. Don't stiff your old boss. Leave on good terms if you can. Give reasonable notice. These are all basic courtesies. But yeah, if you have a chance and you're ready for a career change, I would also say, depending on the relationship with the boss, you should consider if there's opportunities in place because you've invested in that relationship and it's improved. Is there an opportunity there? But otherwise, it's a great time. It's a great time to ask.